In today's interconnected world, the question of where to legally base a company has become one of the most critical strategic decisions a founder can make. This is not merely about finding an office or a market. It is about choosing a legal and financial foundation for your global ambitions. The year 2025 presents a landscape vastly different from that of a decade ago. We have entered an era defined by new global tax rules, heightened demands for corporate transparency, and a powerful focus on sustainability. The choice of jurisdiction is no longer a simple calculation of the lowest tax rate. It is a complex equation that balances stability, reputation, and long-term resilience against the shifting sands of international regulation and geopolitical currents. The decision carries immense weight for both founders and their investors. For a founder, the right jurisdiction can protect valuable intellectual property, facilitate seamless cross-border transactions, and provide access to a deep pool of talent and capital. For an investor, a company's legal home is a direct indicator of its governance standards, its exposure to political risk, and its ability to deliver predictable returns. A well-chosen base acts as a powerful shield, safeguarding the enterprise against unforeseen legal challenges and regulatory shocks. It builds a foundation of trust that is essential for attracting top-tier partners and securing funding in a competitive global marketplace. Why is this choice more critical now than ever before? The answer lies in the global push towards greater regulatory harmony and enforcement. Initiatives like the OECD's BEPS 2.0 framework are fundamentally reshaping international tax law, aiming to ensure that multinational enterprises pay a fair share of tax wherever they operate. This has profound implications for traditional tax haven strategies. Jurisdictions that fail to adapt to these new standards risk being blacklisted, creating significant operational and reputational headaches for the companies based there. Choosing a home is now a bet on that country's ability to navigate this new world order successfully. Therefore, founders must look beyond the glossy brochures and headline tax numbers. They must conduct a thorough analysis of a country's legal system, its network of international treaties, its commitment to global standards, and its long-term political and economic stability. The decision is a long-term commitment, one that will shape the company's trajectory for years to come. It requires foresight and a deep understanding of how the world is changing. Making the right choice is not just about optimizing for today. It is about building a business that is structured to thrive in the world of tomorrow. The pressure to go global quickly can lead founders down a perilous path. Many entrepreneurs, driven by the allure of new markets and rapid growth, often overlook the foundational importance of strategic planning. A common misstep is establishing a corporate structure in a jurisdiction chosen purely for its low tax rates or minimal bureaucracy, without considering the long-term consequences. Imagine a European tech startup that, in its haste to expand, sets up its holding company in a jurisdiction with a weak intellectual property protection regime. While it may save on taxes initially, it leaves its most valuable asset, its proprietary code, vulnerable to theft or infringement, a risk that could ultimately cripple the entire enterprise. Consider the true story of a successful e-commerce brand that expanded rapidly across multiple continents. The founders established a complex web of shell companies in various low-tax jurisdictions to manage regional sales. However, they failed to properly document the transfer pricing between these entities, the prices at which they exchanged goods and services internally. When tax authorities in a major market launched an audit, the company could not justify its profit allocation. The result was a massive tax bill, crippling penalties, and years of costly legal battles that drained resources and severely damaged its reputation with investors and customers alike. This could have been avoided with a more robust initial structure. Another cautionary example involves a fintech company that chose a jurisdiction known for its light-touch financial regulations. This decision allowed the company to launch its product quickly, bypassing the more stringent compliance checks required in established financial centers. However, as the company grew, it struggled to secure partnerships with major international banks, which were wary of the company's regulatory origins. Furthermore, when new global anti-money laundering rules were introduced, the company's home jurisdiction was slow to adapt. This left the fintech firm exposed, facing the threat of being cut off from the global financial system and losing the trust of its users. These examples share a common lesson. A weak foundation cannot support a strong global structure. The initial choice of a corporate home is not a trivial administrative task. It is the bedrock upon which the entire international business is built. A decision made for short-term convenience can create long-term vulnerabilities that are difficult and expensive to fix later on. It can lead to severe tax liabilities, the loss of critical intellectual property, regulatory sanctions, and a permanent stain on the company's reputation. Strategic foresight from day one is not a luxury, it is an absolute necessity for sustainable global success. When founders consider establishing a global hub, two names consistently rise to the top: Singapore and Dubai. Both offer compelling visions of a pro-business future, yet they present distinct advantages and philosophies. Choosing between them requires a careful examination of their legal, financial, and regulatory frameworks in the context of the evolving global landscape of 2025. This is not a simple choice between East and West, but a nuanced decision based on a company's specific industry, target markets, and long-term strategic goals. A side-by-side comparison reveals the critical differences that founders must weigh before making this pivotal commitment. On the matter of corporate taxation, both jurisdictions are famously competitive. Dubai, part of the UAE, has recently introduced a 9% federal corporate tax, a significant shift from its traditional 0% model, though this still remains low by global standards. Importantly, companies operating in its numerous free zones can often still benefit from a 0% tax rate. Singapore, in contrast, has a flat corporate tax rate of 17%, but offers a wide array of grants, incentives, and exemptions, particularly for startups and key growth sectors like technology and research. This means the effective tax rate in Singapore can often be much lower, especially for companies that align with its strategic economic priorities. The key difference lies in the approach. Dubai's free zones offer simplicity, while Singapore provides a more integrated system of targeted incentives. Legally, Singapore operates under a common law system inherited from the British, renowned for its efficiency, predictability, and strong enforcement of contracts and intellectual property rights. Its judicial system is consistently ranked among the best in the world for commercial dispute resolution, providing a high degree of certainty for businesses. Dubai's legal framework is more complex, a hybrid system combining civil law traditions with elements of Islamic Sharia law. However, its free zones, such as the Dubai International Financial Center, operate under an independent common law framework modeled on English law, offering a familiar and trusted legal environment for international companies. The choice here depends on whether a business will operate within these specialized zones or across the broader UAE. In terms of international standing and connectivity, both cities excel. Singapore has an extensive network of over 90 double taxation agreements, which are crucial for preventing companies from being taxed twice on the same income, and for reducing withholding taxes on cross-border payments. This network is a cornerstone of its appeal for global holding companies. The UAE is also rapidly expanding its own network of double taxation agreements. Both jurisdictions are signatories to the BEPS 2.0 framework, signaling their commitment to new global tax standards. On ESG and reputation, Singapore is widely seen as a leader in governance and sustainability, with clear government initiatives promoting green finance and responsible business practices. Dubai is also making significant strides in this area, particularly with its focus on renewable energy and sustainable urban development, though it is still building its global reputation in corporate governance. Choosing the right jurisdiction in 2025 is fundamentally an exercise in risk management and future-proofing. The first step for any founder is to move beyond a singular focus on the headline tax rate. You must develop a comprehensive jurisdictional scorecard that evaluates potential locations against your company's specific needs. This scorecard should include factors like the strength and predictability of the legal system for contract enforcement and intellectual property protection, the breadth and quality of the country's tax treaty network, and its alignment with emerging global standards on ESG and digital taxation. This methodical approach replaces guesswork with strategic analysis, ensuring your decision is robust. To protect your intellectual property, which is often the most valuable asset of a modern company, it is crucial to select a jurisdiction with a strong and tested IP regime. This means looking for a country that is a signatory to major international IP treaties, such as the Paris Convention and the Patent Cooperation Treaty. It also means choosing a location with specialized commercial courts that have a deep understanding of complex technology and IP disputes. Placing your holding company in such a jurisdiction acts as a powerful deterrent against infringement and provides a clear legal path to defend your assets if challenges arise, securing the core value of your enterprise for the long term. Founders must also proactively address the new wave of global regulations. This includes understanding the implications of BEPS 2.0, which targets aggressive tax planning. Your corporate structure must have real economic substance. This means having actual operations, employees, and management functions in the jurisdiction you choose. The days of empty letterbox companies are over. Similarly, engaging with ESG standards is no longer optional. Investors, partners, and even customers are increasingly demanding transparency on environmental impact and social governance. Choosing a jurisdiction with a clear and supportive framework for ESG reporting can become a significant competitive advantage. Ultimately, the choice between hubs like Singapore and Dubai is not about finding a perfect jurisdiction, but about finding the best fit for your unique business. The optimal decision requires professional advice and deep diligence. Consult with international tax advisors and corporate lawyers who understand the nuances of the jurisdictions you are considering. The investment in this upfront expertise is minimal compared to the potential costs of unwinding a poorly chosen structure down the line. In this new global order, a strategically chosen legal home is the ultimate foundation for building enduring trust, attracting capital, and achieving sustainable success on the world stage.